Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to a review of a Bears batch. So we're gonna review DJ Tillu or Tillu Square today. We all just got out of seeing it tonight, premiere night. So first we're gonna give our non-spoiler thoughts, and then the last like few minutes or so we'll give our spoiler thoughts for the people that have seen it. So yeah, let's get our non-spoiler section kicked off. I'll start. I absolutely loved the film. Like I liked it a lot. I thought it was really funny. There are some like missteps here and there throughout. And we'll get to the comparison of the first one later, but just talking about this one as a film, as a standalone thing, I thought it was really good and a worthy sequel. You guys want to go next?
Yeah, I'll let our guest Dulcie speak.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't introduce our new
Yeah.
member here, our
This won't
guest.
even be on Spotify, so they'll visually see her anyways.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll do a more detailed review later this weekend once Nicole and people watch because this is a landmark movie. But you go ahead first.
yeah. Go ahead, Phil.
Hey guys, I'm Dulcie. I'm the guest on Bay Batch today. So I saw DJ Tillu today and I loved it also. I thought that it was actually I think I actually liked it the same as I liked the first one, which is kind of crazy because I didn't think that it would match this first one, but it was really funny and there were there were so many moments where I was just like laughing till my stomach hurt, just like I did in the first one. And overall, I loved it.
Yeah, I can go. So I guess it's split half and half because me and Ankit we thought it was okay. Uh I thought it was decent. I liked the first half a lot. Um and I just didn't like the second half. We'll talk about that later. But
Yeah,
I felt that this movie was a one-man show. In the first one, I think like a lot of the supporting characters had a lot of space. Like Prince in the first movie was amazing, and I think in the second one, Sidhu does a lot of the hard lifting himself. So I think it's more of like less of supporting cast and more of Sidhu's one-man show. But he's awesome in the movie. Um, Anupama's Anupama doesn't really Anupama's there for a lot of like intimate scenes, so be careful going with your family. Luckily, none of us did. But I think it's good. It's definitely worth watching in theaters. Don't wait for OTT. Go with the fun crowd. But I think if you're expecting, it didn't match the first one for me, basically. That's it.
Yeah, I had the same thoughts. We went to watch together, and I thought the first half of the movie was actually pretty good, but I thought the second half is where the problems lied. And overall, I think the first movie is better than this one, but I don't think this is a bad movie by any means. I liked it.
Yeah,
So,
it's not bad. A
dang.
lot of
I'm like
sequels are shit. Yeah.
complete opposite of you guys. I think the second half was like a lot better, especially on the comedy dose. There are like some scenes in the second half, dude, like towards the end where like I was dying. Like I thought it got like the same level of like ratchet that the first movie had, like
Mhm.
throughout, I would say in the first movie. Because in this one, I think the first half for me like took some time to get going. Like personally, like I thought the first like 20, 30 minutes or so where they kind of explore Anupama and his like love story or like connection that they have like took some was like faltering a little bit. Like that's where if you compare to the first one between his relationship with like Neha Shetty or Radhika, I thought that went a little more smooth. Like it was like a little more like entertaining to watch compared to like this one. But yeah, like I think the second half like really picked it up for me and like all of the jokes like landed. In the first half they were like hit or miss, like few did, few didn't. But in my opinion, like in the second half, like all of them landed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't even get into why I dislike the second half because then I'd get into spoilers. But I think
Yeah.
for me, I laughed for viewers watching, like no spoilers, but I just laughed a lot less in the second half. So I think we just have completely different viewing experience.
Yeah,
I
just
think last
completely different.
last 20 minutes especially, no one in my theater laughed. Last 20, 30 minutes. Whereas the
Dang.
first half, they were dying. Like especially DJ Talu's dad, whenever he came into the scene, like he just I love that actor, dude. I forget his name, but like Chimpis, like he was insane in the first half.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's crazy because like our theater was like
yeah,
I would say they were dying in the second half compared to the first half.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. We had an
the first
immersive
half like
experience.
yeah, very like different experience with the theater too.
Yeah. But I guess overall, all of us are on the same page that definitely it's a good movie. I think you guys said it matches up to the sequel. We think it falls short, but
Yeah.
definitely watch it. It's better than a lot of other sequels, successors, and Sidhu delivers. He doesn't fail to deliver, and you know
Yeah. It
we
definitely,
can
I think, like you said, like, yeah, it's a one-man show for sure.
yeah
It's all him. But,
yeah
like, in my opinion, the first one was kind of all him too. Like, without him there,
yeah.
yeah, the supporting cast had some good lines, but I think he was definitely the central figure. Like, the whole movie, like, is built around him. And this one, it's like even more so, like, built around him. But there are some supporting characters that, like, expected and unexpectedly, like, have some good lines in this movie. Like, his dad, for example, or like Marcus and his like friend squad like have some good lines in it. Like Radhika, not Radhika, but like Lily has some like good lines in it. So, and we'll get to the spoiler section of like, everyone else, but like there are some like good like supporting like members in this movie.
I just looked up the dad's name, Muralidhar Gaud.
Oh yeah,
He is
Melina.
so good. Like
He's so
every
funny.
every scene with him and Tillu is just so funny. They have such good
Yeah.
chemistry. I feel like they're actually son and dad. And that I felt like every scene with them was really funny, which is why it worked. Um, I will say I completely agree with you that is like a one-man show, even more so for the sequel. Um, but the first movie had a lot of like one-liners, right? Like Atluntadhi Manthoni or like Uchinda Scientist. I feel like there weren't really any of those in the second one. It was just like contextual jokes that I was laughing at. It wasn't like one-liners that I felt like I could reuse. Um, so I feel like in that sense, they are different. Like the jokes will land differently for people.
Yeah, like, and the thing in the first half also is they reference the first movie a lot. And that also sometimes I was like, okay, like for people that have seen the first movie, like we know, like we understand you're trying to make a parallel and everything. Like, so like that kind of like pulled me out a little bit, like during the first half also. But um yeah, that's I guess like overall, like I still like loved it. And by the end of it, I would say I came out like really entertained.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can say a bit more if we jump into non-spoiler. We won't give away anything too big, just some themes or some
Oh,
issues.
you
So
want
if
to jump into spoiler now?
yeah, because I don't have. I mean, if you guys have some more stuff to say that's
No, I
non-spoiler,
think non-spoiler wise, I think like yeah, we're set unless
yeah.
Ankith or
So
if you want to say
we'll
anything
be
else.
moving on to spoilers. So this movie just came out, so definitely don't watch this part because
Yeah.
there's some good surprise, like there's some good scenes in the movie, and you don't want to get it ruined. So we'll just jump in. So I'll explain why I didn't like it. So second half for me, the whole movie just felt like watching like I paid to watch a worse version of Tillu because the girl's bad again, right? And like
Yeah.
I kind of figured Anupama would be bad from the starting because they followed the entire first half same way, right? Tillu falls in girl, interval twist, Tillu's in a sticky situation, climax, girl is bad, and Tillu shows up, says punch dialogues, and movie ends. So I just didn't like that. Also, it ended very seriously like super like abrupt with like mass music blaring. Like Tillu was like hurt, and I just felt like it ruined the tone of the movie. And we didn't laugh after that car sequence scene where Anupama and him chase each other. And like one thing I mentioned is in the first movie second half,
Doesn't
Prince
Radhika come
Brahmaji.
after that? Sorry to cut you off.
What happened
Radhika comes before that?
Radhika's
after
before that. Sh
No, Radhika's
or
after that. After the car
after
chase
that?
sequence.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's after.
That part was good, but it wasn't like I think like I yeah I loved seeing Radhika again, but I think the point is second half in the first movie had amazing dialogues from his dad, his mom, the doctor, Brahmaji, and Prince, and all these amazing characters. The second half was just like a moss, random moss. Murali Sharma was like a clown who dies to milk. So Naga Nachle though, like they turned like this comedy movie into sort of like a moss movie at the end. I think people will like that, but I thought it ruined their tone. So that's why I hated the ending. I just thought it was so abrupt, and the twists they kept coming and coming, and yeah, those were
Yeah,
mine and
I mean,
Ankit's
like
issues.
as far as like the Moss angle goes, that's kind of there in the first one too, where like when he reveals everything at the end with the court case and everything, they
Hmm.
do a lot of build up and overaction to Tillu, like how like he's the mastermind, he's the guy behind the plan, everything, right? So I feel like they
Yeah,
just
yeah,
do the same thing here, where by the end of it, like he has the haircut and then he becomes like mastermind Tillu, right? Same thing happened in
yeah,
the first movie. He has the haircut and he becomes mastermind Tillu.
exactly.
They follow the same template, but Yeah, I just thought, dude, the second half, I thought those scenes that you mentioned, like the car chase with him and the family in it, with between him and his dad especially, was like crazy. Like I thought they were just riffing off each other, and it was hella funny between them both in the car. And then like him and Radhika meeting again, I thought was the highlight. Like I loved that scene. There were so many times in that scene where we were like dying. And especially like even after that scene ended and it moved on to like Tulu like going and meeting Murli Sharma and everything. I was still dying, like thinking back on like Radhika's scene. There were like so many like I don't know what it is about them two. Like their chemistry is just crazy. Like it's like whenever like he like talks to her or like I don't know, chews her out or like says some shit to her, like it's just too funny.
Yeah, that's also Anupama, not to hate on her, but she doesn't hold a candle to like Neha Shetty. Like Radhika is just such a funny character because she just has such she's so good for characters to like roast. And I felt like the whole movie, like when they bought her especially, I was like, damn, Anupama so much worse than Neha Shetty. Not that Neha Shetty's some acting powerhouse, but she's so good as Radhika. So I think
Yeah.
like I agree, those scenes I liked, but the thing is, the first movie was unique, but the second movie, I was like, Manli, they twist Manli Tillu is a mastermind. I was just like, I don't know. I thought they'd do something different, but it's once again, it's not a bad movie. So
Yeah.
I'll let these
Do
two
you have
talk.
any
Yeah.
do you guys have any spoiler thoughts? We were talking the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just like how safe you get. Like they played it like the same exact thing. At a certain point, it felt like they were trying to rehash the first one, and the first one worked. I feel like it was sort of like a lightning in a bottle sort of moment. So the only way they could try to make a movie that's like as good as the first one is to try and just copy and paste the first one. So to me, it felt like they were not taking any risks at all, which this type of movie doesn't really need those. But when you're going into watching something and expecting something new, and it comes in at the same. It's a little disappointing, but otherwise, I think it's a good movie either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I remember Tillu during the promotions or Sidhu during the promotions would say like it's it's like Tillu's stuck in a bigger predicament now. So I kind of went in knowing that it's like gonna be the same type of movie, just like a different conflict and but the template would be the same. So I think I was just like pleased that it was that and it wasn't like anything crazy because I wasn't expecting anything crazy. But I went into it knowing that it wouldn't be something that I didn't expect.
Yeah, like I honestly just like expected entertainment out of the movie and I got entertainment. Like if the movie wasn't funny, dude, I would have definitely nitpicked the shit out of all the story points and everything. But for me, like end of the day, like I was entertained. So whatever story beats they hit, like I forgave or it was like not an issue because end of the day, like I came out laughing and I had a good time. So that's what I think like the makers were also expecting, like, oh, they only want to come to Tulu to have a good time and like see this guy like crack jokes. And that's kind of what happens in the movie. So like I was satisfied by that.
Yeah, like the story itself is pretty unbelievable. Like the whole um oh yeah, we're in spoiler section, but like just the fact that Anupama was like Indian Special Force and like she knew all this stuff and like needed Tulu to kill this guy. Like I mean it's an unbelievable like also routine story, right? So it people no one none of you should go in watching for our viewers, like none of you should go in thinking that this is going to be like some crazy story that makes sense. Like there's absolutely no logic in this movie and it's purely for entertainment.
Yeah. He also gets away with murder in the end. Like
Yeah,
whatever happened to I don't know. I just thought it was
Rohit.
like I said, if you like
Twice. He gets away with
yeah,
it twice.
twice. If you like the first movie, you'll and if you like the first movie and you expect same thing going in, I think you'll like it. But I think me and Ankit, especially with Sidhu, like I've seen his range in like Krishna and his Leela and other movies. So I thought since he was writing, I thought he would do something a bit different. But I guess no shame in just using the same formula again because it clearly worked, right? People liked it, theater was laughing majority of it, but I just was a little disappointed that he basically made the same movie again with some different elements. So I was just expecting more from him because him and Seish and these guys are the next tier. So I was just hoping for a bit more. But I think it does its job. It entertains you. It's funny. And like the piles scene had me dying. I think that was my highlight of the movie. The doctor why is the doctor just hanging out with them too? He was just so
Yeah.
funny.
Also, his friends, dude, his friend just come to the hospital for his dad's doctor appointment. Like
Yeah,
it's
na opinion
blackout. They're just
the na
in a
opinion
random
guy was
place.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Literally, I saw him. I was like, oh my God, the RMP doctor's back.
Yeah, I don't even know he was in the first movie. I guess I must have forgot.
Yeah, he's in
But
the scene at the end in the first movie.
yeah, I
I
think
loved how they connected both movies. Like, that's something that we were unsure of going in, right? Like, is it going to be connected? Is it going to be just a continuation? And I think it was a perfect amount of connection between the two. Um, although I will say the references to the first one could have been a little bit less. Like, that was a little too much, I think, in the first half.
yeah, I think maybe definitely don't watch DJ Tiller 2 if you haven't seen the first one. It's like you have to. It's not
You
like
have to, yeah.
yeah, it's not like
They're very connected.
very connected.
At
Yeah, I
least the
think
first
trailer.
half is very connected.
Yeah, there was two first 20 minutes right there, like they just wouldn't stop referencing it. I'm like, dude, come on, like make your own
Yeah.
identity. I was kind of annoyed in
Yeah.
the first 20
That's
minutes.
what I was saying. Like that's why it took me some time to like get into the movie because I was like, why are they still showing me kind of what I've seen before and doing the same thing? Like he dances to the same song again, like the DJ Tillu song. And I was like, we understand his character, like, move on. But yeah. But once it does get going, like I definitely did enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean the opening credits literally has like scenes from the first movie too. So it's
Yeah.
like
That
they
was
straight copy and
I
pasted.
I thought that was smart how they did that. And if they capped it at that, that would have been good. But they kept like bringing those scenes back into the actual movie again. But that's when I was like,
Yeah,
okay, we don't need that.
yeah. At the end of the day, I think we all agree it's a good sequel. It passes the sequel test.
Yeah.
But once again, I think I was expecting Sidhu to be a little different. But I think it's entertaining no matter what. Watch it in theaters. It's it's definitely gonna be better than whatever the fuck Vijay Deverakonda is releasing next week. So catch this while you can.
Yeah.
But that's
Agreed. Should we rate it? Go around rating
yeah,
it.
sure. Yeah,
All right.
you
I can
guys
start
go
off.
ahead.
Like I would give it a solid like 8 out of 10. Only 2 points I would deduct is because like, yeah, like in the beginning, it took some time for me to like get into the film because they were just repeating everything from the first one. But like by the end of it, I loved it. So I would give it an 8 out of 10.
I think I'd give it a 6.5 or first one I think is like an 8, so I'd say like this is probably a step lower 7. But the ending, literally just the ending like song BGM just gave me jailer flashbacks, like abruptly ending, and then I wish they showed his family after and them roasting him for dating Anupam like one last time. But it ended on such a serious tone. So because of that climax, I'm gonna have to dock it to a 7. But it's still good. Yeah.
I'm right between you two. I thought 7.5 for similar reasons. Like, I I think that the story could have been better. I didn't love Anupama in it. Um, and the ending could have been like more lighthearted to like wrap everything up.
I think yeah, like I think I agree with the teal.
I don't think you're coming.
Yeah,
Your
we
voice
can't
is
hear you
super
properly.
muffled. Yeah.
can you guys hear me now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I agree with the kill. He said, I think what happens is when a movie ends, well, like in my opinion, when it ends a little sourly, like your whole taste is kind of ruined for it. So I think I would be like probably rating as high as you guys, but because of the ending, I'd have to give it like 6.5-ish. Like I just thought the way that they handled it so seriously, like I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't mention support Anupama because the less said the better. She was basically just used for like provocative scenes in this movie, honestly.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, they gave her, I guess, more of a role than they did to Neha Shetty in the first one, I would say, because I think she's more like integral to this. Like, I mean, we're still in spoilers, so like she's like the ultimate villain, right, in the movie.
yeah,
So I guess she has like a little bit bigger role than Neha Shetty did, but I think the chemistry between Neha Shetty and like Tillu was a lot better than the chemistry between Anupama and him. Like that's the only difference I could make between like both of them.
Radhika's you can't match Radhika.
You
That's
can't.
the OG. But yeah, we'll put out a review on Spotify later. Hopefully Tulsi can join, and we'll do an in-depth review. But this is just our spoiler, non-spoiler for now. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.